spring, summer, winter, the 4 seasons of the year. We even categorize the different weather we experience every day. Sedimentary, igneous, metamorphic, the different categories of rocks. As human beings, we pretty much categorize everything underneath the sun. Sometimes we categorize consciously, as we are trying to sort different things into different categories. And other times, we categorize subconsciously, without even realizing it. So sometimes, we walk into school, and we see a person, and we're like, oh, he's the nerd. That nerd's typically me most of the time. But the point is that we make assumptions about people just from their physical appearances all the time, every single day. Now, what if I told you about 2 girls? One girl has a dark skin tone, and the other girl has a light skin tone. One girl has dark curly hair, and the other girl has blonde straight hair. One girl has gray eyes, and the other girl has brown eyes. These 2 girls on the screen right now were recently in the National Geographic magazine on a feature about race. These 2 girls represent what is wrong with our system of race. As humans, we are commonly known to focus on categorization, and we have almost an unhealthy obsession with categorizing every small thing. Our ancestors themselves would categorize animals into either prey or danger. And so, the thing with, in today's society though, the most common way we categorize is by race. But as we categorize by race, there are commonly exceptions, such as these twins. These twins have one parent that is of African heritage, and the other parent is of white heritage. Often, they are even confused at school for being friends rather than being twin sisters, and they are even treated differently. So my question is, why do we still use race then? This is why I believe that the fact that we classify by race is one of the significant causes of the many social issues we have today. It's not the people, it's not our attitude, but it's more the fact that we continue to classify by race. And the thing about race is that, and what makes it different from ethnicity, is that race is tied to social status. The problem with it being tied to social status is that it often causes a hindrance to our ability to move upward in society and escape out of poverty. So, the thing with these girls is that they're from different races and they're often treated differently. So, what I have to say is that race is often not the ideal way to categorize people, and it's not the correct way either. But first off, where did race even come from? Well, race is actually a pretty recent invention. Compared to the entire history of the human race, race is relatively recent. If you think about it, the Americans and the British were the first ones to start the American slave system. They were the ones who initiated the Atlantic slave trade. Before the Atlantic slave trade, slavery was committed by the Greeks and the Romans. Slavery could have been anybody. Slaves could be anybody. Prisoners of war, debtors, or criminals. But then the English came in, and they created the only slave system ever to enslave only a certain group of people with similar characteristics. They enslaved only Africans. This is what led to the creation of race as a term. Now, as race has become a more commonly used term in recent decades, it has become tied to social status. And as we use it every single day with social status, it has become degrading, and some races are considered superior to others. This is a problem with using race. So one of these problems that erupt from using race is a problem that I'm pretty sure many people in this room have to face. I'm pretty sure all of you adults that have at least one point in your lives filled out a form, and all of you kids have at least taken a standardized test. On these forms and on these standardized tests, there is almost always a section where it asks you to fill out your race. The fact that it asks you to fill out your race is one problem in itself. But on tests like the PSAT, these questions about your race are used to determine your chances of getting a scholarship, depending on how high your score is and what your race is. Why should your chances of getting a scholarship be determined on your race? Why can it not just be based on merit? This is why race is a big issue in my belief. And the other thing is that additionally, in colleges and in admissions today, they also consider race. And as a result, many students that are the same as other students don't get into the college because of their race. But I believe that the federal government should adopt California's new law adopted in 1996. This law made universities unable to take into account an applicant's race. As a result, all applicants have the same chances of getting into the university. A 2009 study by Princeton University professor showed that an Asian person has to score 140 points higher than a white student in order to have the same chances. They have to score 270 points higher than a Latino student and 470 points higher than an African American student in order to have the same chances of getting into 10 elite colleges. This is ridiculous. Why should your race have to determine your chances of getting into college? Now, this is just one of the issues that erupts from race. Another common problem that erupts is the mislabeling of a terrorist in today's media. So, it is a sad fact that in today's society, attacks have become the norm. And whenever these attacks do occur, the media, of course, provides coverage on them. But the problem is that when these attacks do occur, if a white man commits these attacks, it is almost always called an act of violence. But if a colored man does it, it is almost always called an act of terrorism. And the sad fact is that there were almost twice as many terrorist incidents by white right-wing extremists than by Islamist extremists in the US from 2008 to 2016. The Nation Institute Investigative Fund found this out. So as you can see, racial stereotypes are almost always wrong. We shouldn't classify by race. And along with racial stereotypes, there's also a definite problem that erupts in Hollywood. Most recently, there was the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite controversy. That year, a couple of years ago, a couple of African-American celebrities decided to boycott the Oscars and not go because they felt that most films were not awarded to African-Americans and that all African-American films were just shunned aside in favor of white films. And this is honestly true, because tons of African-American films were shunned aside, while white films were put in the spotlight and won many awards, and African-Americans weren't even given any nominations. So, out of the 100 top films of 2016, 25 films featured no Black/African-American characters. 44 included no Asian or Asian American characters, and 54 depicted no Hispanic/Latino characters, said Professor Stacey L. Smith at USC. So it is clear that it has been for a long time that Hollywood has thought that Black films with African American characters just wouldn't make enough money. But this is not true, as you can recently shown by the success of Black Panther. Black Panther was a worldwide phenomenon with multiple people supporting it and has become one of the biggest successes of the film industry. So again, we can see how racial stereotypes are clearly false. And as time progressed, race has been mixed up with ethnicity and nationality. So race, as I said before, is a category that uses a set of physical characteristics combined with your social status in order to categorize someone, while ethnicity is the place where your parents or your heritage is from, and your nationality is the country where you were born in or where you hold citizenship in. So, for example, my nationality would be American since I was born here. My ethnicity would be Indian since my parents and their parents came from India. And my race would be Asian or brown. So, as we talk about racial stereotypes and stuff like this, the thing is, even though there have been recent changes in the society with the success of Black Panther, and we have had for the first time in history an African American president, and tons of business CEOs are now Indian, including Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google. This is all not enough. America, we need to change. America has the capacity to change. It just is unwilling to. We need to be more open with each other. We need to stop having preconceptions of each other. We need to be more, we have to stop using race as a social construct. The thing with race is that we almost use it to constrain ourselves. So, the center of these problems that erupt is from race. So why do we still continue to use race then? Why can't we just use our ethnicity and our nationality? We are all American, and that's all we should use to identify us.